Hi everyone, good evening. Happy to actually meet some of you online again. Okay, this is actually the second session that I have done so far. So for some of you who have watched my first video talking about actually psychology of evil, why good men do evil, this is actually a follow-up session. So today once again we have another very controversial area within social psychology. And the topic itself is something that interests me for quite a while, okay, ever since I started reading on cults. So today I am quite privileged, okay, besides myself, I have a co-presenter, okay, and Vivian will be joining me to co-present this topic. So at different stage of time, I will probably re-invite Vivian, okay, to join us to share a bit more about what she understands about cult. So without further ado, let's start because now it's 7:35, okay, and I know we have a commitment to start at 7:30. So let's not actually delay anything further. So just want to make sure everyone that's online, you are with us for the right webinar. This is Brainwashing, Psychology of Cults. Okay, a very, very controversial and yet very mysterious area within the psychology field. Let's look at actually a bit more, okay, about who you are speaking to, okay, or who you are listening to tonight. Okay, this is myself. My name is Stanley. Okay, I am actually a former MBA director. I'm also a lecturer with a few universities, okay, in the past. I'm also a former head of university admissions. Okay, I'm with SMU at one stage of my career. And of course, prior to that, with Universitas 21 Global, which is a collection of leading universities around the world. Okay, I'm also a chief editor, so I edit journals, academic journals. Okay, and last and not least, a bit more on my academic credential. Okay, but bear in mind, tonight's presentation is not about me. I will be walking with you throughout the entire webinar presentation. Okay, but the focus shouldn't be on me. Rather, I will place the attention on you because I would like you to walk away with many takeaways about cults and why they are around. So tonight, the purpose of us talking about cults, okay, is multiple folds. First, I would like to demystify, okay, cults as an organization. Second, I would like to talk about how cults play a very, very actually serious impact on society. And more importantly, bring you behind the scenes to see what cults do and who are the ones who gets influenced by cults very easily. Okay, so there are some purposes that we have in mind, and it's going to be a pretty interesting evening tonight. So let's actually start from here. First, I would like to talk about what is a cult. Okay, different people have different interpretations. Some people see cults as religious organizations. Some people see cults as illegal organizations, okay, who are out there to destroy the world, to do harm to society. But we need to have a formal agreement, okay, what we call a definition of what a cult is and what it constitutes of. So this is actually, in my opinion, okay, what a cult means. It's a group and it's a movement that's held together with a common shared obligation towards one charismatic leader or ideology. Okay, remember, I'm not talking about any leader, I'm talking about a charismatic leader. Okay, it cannot be just any leader at large. It cannot be just bosses in offices or political leaders. No, we are talking about charismatic leaders. So they have certain traits, okay, that host this entire movement and group together. And usually in a cult, there's a very strong belief system that seems to have answers to life's questions. Okay, and in the process, they also offer solutions to things, okay, or to questions that cannot be addressed by society as a whole. Okay, and in cults, they tell you, just follow me as a leader, and I will show you the right way or the promised land. So the definition of cult, okay, is what holds the entire webinar together. And I would like you to actually subscribe to this same definition. Let's look at some of the more famous cults around. Let me introduce you to Heaven's Gate. Okay, Heaven's Gate is founded in 1970s. Okay, by this gentleman here. Okay, this old man. All right. Okay. It lasted until 1997. So later I'm going to tell you why is it until 1997. Founded, okay, because they have a very unique belief. They think that Earth is going to be wiped clean. That means there's going to be devastation throughout the whole planet. The only way to survive this is to leave it behind. Okay. And Marshall Applewhite, the gentleman that you see in the background, he's Marshall Applewhite, he's the leader. He persuaded 38 of his followers to first rent a mansion. Stay in it for a few months. Before one given day, they decided to kill themselves together at the same time, at the same place, leaving behind whatever Earth has in store for them. So they're going to actually leave Earth just because they think that that is the only way to survive. Interestingly, Heaven's Gate has a very unique proposition. They are also known as a doomsday cult. So what's a doomsday cult? They in doomsday cult, they think that Earth is going to come to an end someday. Okay. And for me to survive, the only way is I will have to leave Earth. Okay, or perish together, okay, with Earth in a way. So in order for me to avoid perishing with Earth, I need to get out of the planet. So this is a common characteristic of doomsday cult, which Heaven's Gate is one of the strongest representation. Okay, in 1997, something happened to Heaven's Gate. Okay, all of them committed suicide. The corpses all lie in bunk beds, all covered by a purple cloth. What you saw here, 38 of them committed suicide, same day, same time. They were all dressed in identical black shirts, sweatpants, okay, black and white Nike sneakers, as well as armbands reading Heaven's Gate Away, okay, awaiting. Interestingly, earlier I mentioned Heaven's Gate believed that they should leave everything behind, okay, whatever Earth has, they should leave it behind. But they didn't really leave everything behind. They had $5.75 inside their pocket. Isn't that actually material items that Earth has? So it's a bit contradicting. In their ideology, they need to leave Earth, but yet they had something that's very earthly in their possession, okay, when they pass away. So in this, actually, it was actually quite sensational because all the 38 bodies, okay, were discovered in the same building at the same time, okay, and the time of death is pretty much within minutes away from each other. Let me bring you to a second cult, Children of God. Okay, they call themselves Children of God Church. Okay, it is not your typical church. They actually believe it's a kind of worship, okay, that combines what Jesus Christ has taught plus the free love movement of the 1960s. Okay, so in the 1960s, the hippies, okay, have a very strong actually phenomenon, okay, where they believe that, oh, everybody should have freedom of speech, freedom to love anyone, freedom to express themselves. So this church was kind of different. They combine what Jesus taught versus the free love movement. It was founded on 3 pillars: group living, okay, isolated communities, as well as Zayas, okay, Zionizing. They have 15,000 members around the world. And what defines this church? Adults do not go to work at all. They are just sitting around, bumping around, okay, even though they are able-bodied to do so. Children are not allowed to go to school, even though they are of schooling age. So it was a very, very big movement, but that is not all about this church. So what happened to this church? They were notorious for filthy fishing. Okay, let me help you to define filthy fishing. Filthy fishing was actually prescribed throughout the church, okay, where female members of the church could use sex to seduce other male non-members to join the church. It's allowed, it's heavily promoted, and it's the norm. Okay, so female members of this church are expected to use sex to seduce people to join them, okay, and be part of them. So filthy fishing was a term coined by the founder of the particular church. Okay, something that's also quite actually radical. In the church, they allow, okay, in fact, they promote, they advise you, you can actually have casual sex with children as young as 8 years old. In fact, it's heavily encouraged and promoted. Okay, the founders, okay, even wrote sentences saying that kids as young, children as young as 12 years old are able to have babies by then. So why not, okay, engage in all these acts with children? Several former actually members also say that they have been sexually assaulted and beaten. In fact, in one of the actually research they have found, a member, okay, confessed that he actually and a few others raped children as young as 10 years old, okay, and they get away scot-free. So in this particular church, they have a very, very actually different perception of what life is all about, okay, and this is one of the most notorious church, okay, or also known as cults that actually humankind have seen, okay. So the third church, People's Temple, another doomsday church, okay, in their belief is a bit different. Nuclear war is about to start because that's a time when Russia and America, they were at actually loggerheads with each another. So nuclear war was actually almost on the verge of being erupted anytime. So in People's Church, the followers, okay, led by actually Jim Jones, okay, they went from California. It's an American-based cult. They moved, okay, the whole following moved to South America. And they stayed in this commune-like settlement for several years. This is in South Africa. They constructed everything from scratch in the deep vegetation of the jungle. Okay, it has a name. It's called Jonestown. So you can see all this actually very old-looking building. It's Jonestown. Okay, so there were a lot of accusations, okay, that media got wind of. One of the strongest accusations was that there are a lot of abuse cases, okay, and a lot of former members who left the cult, okay, actually alerted the government. So one of the US congressmen decided to come to Jonestown to investigate, together with camera crews, together with security, actually with bodyguards. But before they left, they were killed, okay. And Jim Jones, as the leader, okay, on the same day when they killed the congressman, persuaded 918 of his followers to drink poison together, okay, and so it was mass suicide. So in this image that you see, it's just a handful, okay, of the followers who committed mass suicide. Okay, there's a lot more than just this. You are talking about 900 lives, and this is not even just 900. This is just actually probably only at most about 120 to 150. Okay, so People's Temple is a doomsday church because they think that nuclear war is about to happen, but it did not happen at all. But they have this strong belief that it's inevitable. So the fourth church, okay, another doomsday cult. Okay, this is in Japan. Okay, they believe that there's going to be a world war started by America, and only followers of this cult, okay, will eventually survive. Interestingly, it was started actually by this Japanese gentleman here, known as Shoka, okay, Shoka Asahara. So Shoka Asahara founded this church after meeting with the Dalai Lama, okay, and he actually founded this church on three religions: Buddhism, Christianity, okay, and Japanese, okay, Japanese Buddhism, okay. So he had actually something like 50,000 members by 1995. Majority of them not Japanese. Majority of them were Russians. So they were in Russia. So what led to the demise of this doomsday cult? Okay, before the demise, they attracted a lot of elites. They attract university grads, students, okay, and most of them were actually in other parts of the world except for Japan. So in this doomsday cult, okay, the members started to believe that Shoko, okay, will eventually become the leader of the Japanese government. They decided to overthrow the Japanese government by creating chaos in the country. And the place that they selected, okay, was actually the Tokyo subway. They decided to use poison, sarin gas, okay, to create chaos. And in the chaos itself, these 50,000 members will stage an uprising and overtake the Japanese government, okay, and declare a new government overnight. So in the process, obviously they did not succeed, okay, but there was some very serious impact because 12 people died, okay, and they had like 50 injuries. So it's a Japanese cult, okay, as many people will know it to be. Okay, Rajesvi, okay, Rajes, okay, Rajes itself is what we call a different type of cult. It's called cult of personality. So let me share with you a bit more on cult of personality. Earlier we talked about doomsday. Doomsday says that, oh, you know, we must leave Earth, war is inevitable, but cults of personality are different. It's always founded around one person, usually the leader. And the leader is so charismatic that the church or the cult will follow whatever he believes in or whatever he orders. So Rajesh Puram is actually a cult of personality because it's all founded around this old gentleman. Okay, he is a traditional, non-traditional Indian guru. Okay, and in his work, he says that there must be a religious-less religion that embraces sex liberation. With this thinking, he got into trouble. Okay, with the Indian government in 1980s. Okay, as he was very much able to escape eviction, he decided to actually get his followers to relocate, go to United States, buy a ranch, in Oregon, US, and convert that into a compound. So all his followers could just stay in the same compound, and be with him, following his preaching, doing whatever he needs. So it was actually quite okay at the beginning, until his followers, decided to take over the government. They were in Oregon, and in Oregon itself, the place they were in, there was a small little town. They wanted to take over another town, in fact, becoming the government. How many people were with him? 5,000 of his followers live in this single compound. And 5,000 for a town in the United States is quite a fair bit to handle. So residents became very frustrated. But the final breaking point was when they decided to take over the government. And in order to take over the government, they did something very drastic. They constructed, orchestrated the first bio-terrorist attack. 750 people were poisoned. So that in the process of them being poisoned, the voter population would drop, and they could use that as a reason to influence the local election. Eventually, the US government came in, sent out this actually entire cult. So this is a personality cult. Let's bring closer to home in Asia. Unification Church, another cult of personality. In this particular cult, they have a very unique belief. There's a Messiah, that's sent to complete Christ's mission on earth. So who's a Messiah? This gentleman here. So who is he? He's Reverend Sun. Sun Moon. We call him Father Moon. Father Moon actually started this church in the 1950s. To his followers, he's known as Father Moon. So what does Father Moon preach? Father Moon says Christ was crucified, before he was able to marry and have perfect children. And in order for him to actually finish his whatever mission, he has to actually, people who follow him has to pledge allegiance with him. And after 7 years, he himself as a Messiah is able to pick a spouse, of his choice, and then start to have kids, with whoever he has selected. So it wasn't actually really your doomsday cult where, you must die together with the founder. Not really. Father Moon says, join me, so that at the end of the day, we can actually become more and more successful, and our religion can become stronger and stronger. Hopefully over in one day, we can actually become a very dominant religion. And they are better known for his mass weddings. And every mass wedding that he has is hundreds and hundreds, or if not thousands of people. If you do watch YouTube, YouTube has a lot of videos where you see Father Moon presiding over thousands of couples, getting married in stadiums, getting married in actually town halls, getting married in large compounds. And that is Father Moon's actually way of doing things, to showcase how he is, being respected as a Messiah. Okay, so these are cults of personality. So like what I mentioned, it's always founded around one person, and that's a charismatic leader, right? Okay, this is something very, very recent because those cases I mentioned to you happened maybe about 10 years ago, 15 years ago, maybe 20 years ago. Some of you may say it's not relevant. Let me bring you closer to NXIVM. Okay, NXIVM is a sex cult. And when NXIVM was founded actually in uptown New York. Okay, and when they were founded as a self-help group. Okay, and Keith Raniere, okay, this is Keith, right? Keith started this group, okay, based on workshops, based on classes on empowerment. He says that, you know, the best way for you to improve your life is to help yourself. And that's how he started NXIVM. NXIVM had more than 18,000 members across North America. Women were recruited, okay, under false pretense, and they were joining a sisterhood or so. Okay, what people do not know, NXIVM is a self-help group, but within NXIVM, there was a very mysterious close community known as DOS. Okay, D-O-S. Okay, DOS is actually a sex cult. Okay, and in DOS, there is a pyramid scheme, okay, which comprises of Kelvin, okay, Keith at the top, okay, he's known as a vanguard. Followers will all call him vanguard. He's a top authority. And then below, actually, Keith, there are other females, members, usual leaders. They are known as masters. So under each masters, they will have a group of recruits known as slaves. So it's like a pyramid system. Vanguards at the top, masters in the middle, and then slaves at the bottom. Okay, so what is wrong with this particular DOS? So to get admitted to DOS, a real recruit will have to surrender naked photos or compromising documents that could be used as blackmail. Surrender to who? Surrender to the masters. Here you will see 5 masters. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is Vanguard. Vanguard is right in the middle. These are the 5 leading masters. Some of you will recognize her. Okay, she is a leading actress in this particular sitcom known as Smallville, Superman, Junior Superman. She is actually one of the actors. Okay, so the rest are other similar leaders holding the same rank of master. So if you think that blackmail is what NXIVM subscribes to, that's not all. Let's go a bit deeper. Okay, to become part of DOS, they will tell you you need to get a small tattoo, a very small tattoo. But instead of a tattoo, they were told to undress. The female members were told to undress, and the master will brand them with a design. Okay, and this is actually the particular tattoo, the so-called tattoo. Okay, but it's actually the initials of Keith. Okay, Keith Raniere, so KR. Okay, so where is it actually being branded? Just right above the pelvic area. Okay, and before their brand, they will be helped by 3 other women. And the women that's being branded, okay, they will have to say this: Master, please brand me. You will be an honor. Okay, this is the inculcation of a new member into DOS. Okay, so what really go wrong? Eventually, members, okay, from this cult came out, went to the press, police got involved, and eventually this cult was found out. Okay, all the topics were addressed, and in fact, the court case is happening. But Keith has been actually sentenced to 120 years jail. Okay, the rest of the other masters are still pending their sentences by the New York court. Okay, so actually, when you talk about cults, they are really around. It's not because it happens in the past. Okay, they are around. They are going to be in the future. They are going to be with you. Okay, so I think here I will take actually a short break. Okay, in fact, tonight I am quite privileged, okay, to invite actually Vivian. Okay, so some of you will be wondering, earlier I didn't introduce Vivian. Okay, I didn't share a bit on her profile. So why actually do I get Vivian to help me? Because she's a former cult member. Okay, and I think we had many conversations. After several exchange of conversations, I somehow managed, okay, to convince her to help me to share her experience with you So from here, I'll leave it to Vivian to do a lot more sharing. Vivian, can I hand over to you?
Sure. Thank you, Stanley. Hi, everyone. Privileged to be able to share with everyone on this platform for my dark and juicy story. Okay, it's a dark side of my story, but okay, it's not that bad. So Stanley was saying that, oh, cults are not in the past. Yes, it is true. I am a living example of a cult member that now I'm no longer with them. And I'm psychology trained for the past 10 years now. Then you say, oh, how come a psychology trained, then you're not aware of cult group? Okay, my psychology journey started at the point whereby I joined the cult. So the journey work is in parallel. So I think to a certain extent, maybe psychology work has helped me put myself together and find my identity instead of following the cult group. So those who are keen in psychology, please go into it. It is really a very interesting subject, and it really helped you to know yourself better. Okay, so let me talk about the cult experience. And somewhat 2010, I had very severe back issue. Okay, my back pain is so bad, I can't even talk to you for 5 minutes. For example, now I'm talking to you or even Stanley, I stare at y'all like, okay, I can't see any of your faces now. If I talk to somebody within 5 minutes, I would feel somehow dislodged. I couldn't sing myself. My brain couldn't work because what? There's a nerve that crunch on my neck so bad that I couldn't focus anymore. So I was so desperate. I looked for all sorts of medical doctors at that point. I find this, find that, you name it, I have done it. Okay, all the medical sort. So short of going for major spinal op that could leave me paralyzed. So of course, that would be my last resort because my kids are like 3 years old and 5 years old. What if something happened to me, then who's going to look after them? So I desperately, I was very desperate. I searched on over the internet, to the point even my husband actually stopped his business to look after me. That was really serious. And I found a lot of methods, but I stumbled across this place that has certain methodology. I'm not going to do elaborate so much on what they do because apparently the cult is still around in Singapore, and they are vast all over the world. So the reason why I want to share this experience is, amongst all of us, sometimes we may be unawarely stepping into a cult group which we may not even know. Okay, and you might think that is for some people weak, but no. Okay, all of us at some point we might have some weakness which we don't know. So mine was a physical weakness, and when you have physical weakness, it could manifest into mental weakness as well as emotional weakness. Definitely is a vicious cycle. Okay, so I happen to come across this center. They offer some methodology which they claim could help with your illness and back and all those. I went, and miraculously, I went for 2 days class there. My pain was alleviated by 40%. Oh, at that point, it was the world to me because 40%, I was in pain every day, and it was excruciating pain. Really, I cannot do anything but look for cure. So can you imagine how bad it is? I cannot live my life day to day. So the 40% is a huge thing to me, 2 days. And wow, so of course I would go there and practice more and more. So as I practice more, my pain did subside. It was really, the methodology is good. However, as I slowly got better, I did get better for a period. However, if you ask me, am I cured from my pain? No. Okay, I believe the methodology has some, okay, this center has some Taoist methodology, but they place themselves with a facade of a Buddhist religious group. So it's kind of mixed. So when I went in, it was not for religious purpose, but for my pain. So they lure people in using health and wellness. When people experience goodness, then slowly you will be sucked in. So I didn't know because I was not aware of cults then, and I was just bothered with my pain only. So I went in there, and so my pain was alleviated. After that, I went to practice more. And so after that, I benefited, right? So they say, oh, why don't you want to help us and volunteer? Okay, then I say, fine, because I benefited, I should be grateful, right? So I went to help them. And there it started with, they were a very small group when I first joined, maybe about 50 members. Today, there are more than 10,000 followers in Singapore itself. All over the world, millions, I can tell you. Okay, so now, then after that, I followed them. Why 7 years? Okay, the process grew. So when you follow them, you got better. Your energies got better. For me, like, it was the methodology that worked. And later part, they know that you benefited. They ask you to volunteer. Then they start asking you to become leader. And I started building groups for them. So I even built a group of up to 200. Anybody who comes in the center, I will do an introduction for them, okay, on what benefits and all that. So after they attend class, if they don't do well again, then they will spread the word. So it was extensive, and the things that they do were a lot. So now, who are susceptible? For me, it was because I have a pain, and I was helpless at that point. Okay, so some are emotional needs, some are physical needs, some of them could be broken issues or emptiness. So they're looking for sources, okay, to help them. And there are a lot of lost souls in this world, huh? So and I was there, I benefited. Okay, the point is that I benefited. So when I benefited, you were in desperate need, and suddenly something, you see a light there, so you just grab onto it. And I grabbed hold of it. And after that, they saw that I was grateful, I have some capability, I was financially okay. So they know how to earmark people. I can tell you, when you go in the cult, the earmark. Okay, so I was being earmarked actually. I wasn't aware until I became a leader that this was the process, because then I knew how they do it. So then I led about 200 over people, and I can tell you, they have good methodologies to lure people in, to bring you health. Okay, and next thing, they have methodologies to sort of brainwash you. Now, how they do it is, they will make the volunteers very tired. So I was there practically like 5 to 7 days. Despite my work, I was doing psychology work, teaching and all, okay, and some psychotherapy work. So despite that, I still go there and volunteer, because I thought this method help people. Okay, they see certain kindness in you, and they monopolize on that. So what happens is that I help, and you're so tired. So when you come back, you don't think. And when you attend their class, they will instill you with their teachings and that. So we have a huge master there. Everyone would pray to the master and listen to the master, and nobody dares to defy him. It's in real world. It's not like one of those cult books that you saw. It is real. Okay, so it's really like one of those stories. But of course, they are not extremes. The main objective is, of course, to make a lot of money and gain power. Okay, for ultimate reason. It's not like doomsday or whatever. No, nothing of this sort. So, but we are being sucked in. We thought we are helping people. However, at the end of the other channel, they are actually earning a lot of money. Okay. So some may ask, then how do you get out of it? Of course, I was at arm's length. I didn't join them as full time, even though they recruited me. I to the point that I was there so often that my kids say, "Mommy, I don't even get to see you." So these are the things that can destroy your life. And I can see sensible people. There are lawyers there, there are professors there, there are rich businessmen, all sorts, and they're all smart people. Of course, then they are the leaders, because they can donate a lot. So they will earmark people who can donate a lot of money, and then make you teachers and leaders. So rich businessmen who are inside, they make them leaders. Now, when you're rich in business, you may be very well in other areas. But when people say, hey, you're so compassionate, you help me, you heal me, it's a different kind of leadership altogether, and they felt power. It's a different kind of power. So when they were there, they felt fulfilled. Okay, but these things are all not real at the end of the day. So for me, I got up because one of my so-called brothers in there, he joined them as full-timer, and he told us a lot of dark stories on what is inside the head office. They have a discrete head office, which nobody knows where's the location. So these are signs, because why should they be discreet if it's a religious organization? It should be very open. So for me, of course, I see these signs, and I refuse on doing the things that they ask me and my team to do, and it's very out of the way kind of thing. So I've seen people remortgage their house just to donate money to the center. So these things are detrimental. So this brother told me that he saw some of the finances in the center, and it was really horrible, because it's like the zeros is like, wow, don't know, to infinity. And they're all very afraid of the huge master, because they were afraid that he has supernatural powers to control them. They dare not leave them. For me, I'm at arm's length. So when I heard this brother, who is a person that I know, of course I trust him. I trusted him. He has become a monk now, and he's practicing somewhere. He's a monk, full monk now. He left, he managed to leave. So we're all afraid because we're afraid. We don't know how huge the network of this organization is. So when I left, they actually ostracize us and do not let us enter the center anymore because they're afraid that we will bring people out. So yeah, we cannot go back anymore because I did tell some of my members, some would believe, some cut me off because they think master is the greatest and we shouldn't defy him. That's the scary part. When I talk to some close brothers or sisters, it's so scary. I feel very eerie because when I talk to them and tell them exactly what the experience is, they just seems like they don't have identity, don't have a soul. They just totally submit themselves to the master and think that whatever he does is right and it's not logical. So it's kind of eerie to me. Like, it's like when you talk to a person, he's hollow, no longer there, it's just a shell. There's no identity, no thinking, but it's sold to another person. That's the whole purpose of why I'm sharing today, because throughout our life, we all strive very hard for freedom, for money, everything. Then at the end of the day, you don't want to sell your soul to somebody or lose your mind, your identity to somebody else, because at the end of the day, you are fighting for freedom. And then down there, I see so many learned people, rich people, smart people, they sold themselves to a master and lose the rest of their life. So just be very aware of all this. Like, at the end of the day, so if you have any questions later, then maybe at the end of session we can answer some of these questions. Right? Thank you. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Vivian.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
So for interested participants tonight, I hope we can actually just give Vivian a bit of space. Stop asking which cow. Okay, I think that's the only thing that we really need to do, okay, to protect her. So if you have any questions, I'm sure Vivian, myself, we will be able to actually
in case I get chopped up and then you all don't know what happened.
Okay, thanks Vivian, thanks a lot.
Yeah,
okay,
so
from here, I think you have heard some of the first-hand encounters, okay, but I think that's not what we are going to stop at. Okay, we are going to go further, okay, and bring you behind the scenes. How do we differentiate a cult from other groups? Okay, this is a very burning question that I get asked for quite a number of days now. Okay, both by my colleagues, both by people, okay, who knows I'm going to present this. Okay, what's the difference between the cult and the church and the military, okay, or even other organizations that are made up by groups? Okay, let's look at some characteristics here. Okay, cults have 8 very recognizable characteristics. Let's look at the first one. Powerful and exclusive devotion to an explicit person or a mission, what they call a belief, okay, but we call it a creed because creed is more powerful than beliefs. Okay, cults will always tell you, you must listen to me because I am the leader. Okay, you must give me full respect. Whatever I say is always right. Or they'll tell you, okay, something is going to happen. You must believe that this is something, okay, that's going to happen very, very soon and you will affect you. So they have very, very strong and powerful exclusive devotion. Second, there's always a brainwashing program coming up. Okay, and this brainwashing doesn't just talk about washing, okay, your ideas. It's talking about integrating you, socializing you, persuading you, and controlling you. So later we're going to look at some of the programs, okay, that cults have in store for you. Okay, second characteristic. Third characteristic, they have a very, very well taught, very, very thorough recruitment, selection, and socialization process. In fact, in my opinion, sometimes you should hire cult leaders as HR. Okay, they are really awesome. They can make someone come, join the organization, and not having the thought of even leaving. So sometimes I always feel that they are probably some of the best HR leaders around. Fourth, cults will ask you, okay, you need to maintain psychological and physical dependency among your fellow cult members. Okay, don't look anywhere else for help. Okay, depend on your members, okay, so that they can give you the social support, they can help you, they can be your close friends, they could actually embrace you just like loved ones. Okay, so that's the fourth characteristic. The fifth characteristic, they insist they must change the way that you look at the world. Okay, they must reprogram you. Whatever you taught in the past is wrong. I'm going to show you the right way, the only way and the right way to see the world. 6, they will exploit group members. And earlier you do hear you even saying that members are always very, very exhausted because of this consistent exploitation of group members. Okay, not only just asking you to donate money, they're asking you to do a lot of things which are laborious. Okay, so later we're going to look at some of these actually examples of laborious activities. They also use control signals, control mechanisms. You see, you join a cult, the last that they want is for you to leave the cult. So in order to keep you inside the organization, they must have mechanisms to hold your interest and to prevent you from leaving. So to do that, they construct an unfamiliar setting with different rules, different terms, different behavior patterns. Okay, so number 7 is a common characteristic across all cults. They want to control you as a person, not only your mind, but you, your physical body. Okay, and lastly, they will use psychological methods to create harm, not only to the member, the loved ones, friends, as well as society as a whole. Okay, their ultimate aim is not just to bring you in. They want you to be aloof, okay, from the rest of society. They want you to be isolated. And to do that, they will create a lot of psychological harm, okay, in the process. So 8 characteristics, okay. And earlier this evening, I had people asking, okay, then can you tell me why are some churches so similar to cults? You will have to use these 8 characteristics, okay, and tick off one by one. How many characteristics does churches have? How many characteristics of cults do military have? How many characteristics of communities do they have? Okay, that's in common with cults. So cults must have all 8 characteristics. Some churches, okay, which I will not name, they are very, very, very close, okay, to a cult. But there's a difference. They don't have all 8 characteristics. I counted, they only have probably 5 to 6. But to be called a cult, they need to have all 8. Okay, so churches are not cults. Cults may call themselves churches. Okay, so there's a very, very thin line drawn here. But the best way to differentiate, look at it, these 8 characteristics. Okay, so I think let me bring you to another very, very important question. So earlier you hear from Vivian, businessmen, professors, lawyers, doctors, students, okay, even the layman on the streets. These are all healthy individuals. They don't have any mental issues. They don't have any psychological disorders. So how do they get brainwashed by the cults? And in fact, very easily most of the time. Cults will start induction, okay, or their recruitment using what we call foot in the door technique. So what's a foot in the door technique? Okay, it's just like, you know, you actually just bring up one of your foot, you prevent the door from slamming. That is what we call foot in the door technique. Later, I'm going to show you one very common technique that's been used by cults. Okay, to use the foot in the door technique, first, they must stop critical thinking. They will not allow individuals to have a mind of their own. No independent thinking. Don't even question. Don't even think why, okay, you are doing certain things. Critical thinking must be stopped. And to stop that, they will introduce what we call a sacred creed, okay, a mission or a very strong belief or a doctrine. Second, they will ensure control, purity, okay, over your lives. And to ensure control and purity, okay, they want you to confess, tell them your darkest secrets, tell them, okay, why, okay, happened to you for your entire life, what has gone wrong, okay, and they subordinate you as a person to the doctrine. Okay, so step 1, stop your thoughts. Okay, don't even think. Step 2, I want to start to come in your life, control every single thing that you're doing every day. Okay, every single act, every single behavior. Step 3, I would, in the process, I'll induce things like fear, guilt, pride. Okay, so Vivian joined actually the organization because of what? Okay, I will attribute that more to probably fear. Okay, fear that something will happen to to her loved ones, okay, if her backache is not cured. Okay, so there's a fear. Some people feel guilt because maybe their businesses have failed, they feel that they are useless, they can't even bring actually bread, okay, to their loved ones, okay, or even a decent meal. So they feel guilty. Some is pride. Remember, Vivian mentioned about businessmen. These are very successful businessmen, making them feel powerful, having the ability to influence other people's life. So in cults, they will make use of emotions. Emotions is their toolkit, okay? And to use emotions, you need to be able to influence behaviors, right? Fourth, they will develop their own way of thoughts, okay? Usually own language, own dress, own signals, especially in doomsday cult, okay? Doomsday cult, they'll tell you you must dress in a certain way. Just like in my image, all the cult members are dressed in the same method, not revealing their faces, okay? Because that is their own unique dress, okay? So what is foot in the door technique? Okay, let me give you a real example. Okay, I will have to borrow, okay, People's Temple. Jim Jones. This is Jim Jones, the founder, okay, of People's Temple. Like any other churches, okay, People's Temple says, come join my service, okay, join my Sunday service. After that, there's a simple dinner, okay. After a simple dinner, join us for another weekend where we will sing songs, we will sing praises of God, we will actually behave like in the cult group, okay, not in a cult group, but a cell group, okay. Let's actually really embrace each another's belonging. So if you do that, you join them for dinner, followed by a weekend of warm fellowship, activities will intensify, okay, they become more outrageous, okay. The recruiters will start to ask you for donations and also at the same time attempt to convert you, okay. So when we say door, okay, foot in the door, it's always something like a small act of kindness, okay, or it could be just a simple gesture of appreciation. Let me buy you dinner, let me buy you lunch, okay. After that, I ask for something more. So it's always escalated. So Jim Jones used this very, very, very well, okay. So people who join People's Temple do not even suspect that there are different kind of church, although it's known as a cult, but people who first join them think that it's just like any ordinary church, okay. So to build credibility, Jim Jones do something else. He uses psychic readings, okay, a very, very powerful tool. So what does Jim Jones do? Jim Jones, okay, will always welcome newcomers, okay, asking them to identify themselves. Tell me your name, tell me a bit more about what you do, where do you stay, okay, before they enter the church for services, okay. And when this newcomer comes to the church, behind the scene, without his awareness or her awareness, someone, okay, usually a AD to Jim Jones, will start calling the person's home, okay, on the pretext of conducting a house survey. Can I find out, how many actually family members do we have? Or what is the occupation of this person? What does this person actually do as actually during his free time, so and so forth. So they'll ask very personalized questions about the newcomer. And during the service, Jim Jones will call the person's name and say, oh, you're so and so. Oh, I know you. You're staying at this street. Okay, you have how many kids in the family? Or your wife is this name. Your wife is working as this. Okay, and you drive a what car? Okay, maybe a Toyota car or whatsoever. So in the process of that, okay, Jim Jones builds a lot of credibility. Okay, and he calls that psychic readings, even though it's just a survey. Okay, the idea behind this is to build credibility and charisma of actually this particular cult leader. Okay, so that's what we call foot in the door. They must put something in your door to stop the door from slamming. Okay, so that they can get you slowly to open up. Okay, other actually mind controlling techniques used by cults. First, they demand that you must be compliant and conform. I want you to be dressed in this way. You must dress so. I want you to listen to my commandments. You do so. Do not question. Do not ask questions. Okay. Don't even compare. Don't think of yourself as someone who's unique. You are all the same. You are the followers of the same church, the same actually obligation, and the same mission. Okay. So first rule, they want you to be 100% compliant and conform, just like Lego bricks. Okay. All Lego bricks look the same. Okay. Second, the leaders, okay, will use very persuasive techniques. Okay, they are very, very good communicators. They are charismatic. And earlier you see Jim Jones using psychic, okay, actually washing techniques, okay, telling you, oh, you know, before you even come to church, I already know who you are. But we all know now it's not the truth. But actually for the followers, they may not think that way. They are usually sold an idea. And before they know it, they are part of the cult. Okay, the third method, okay, creation of dissonance and emotional manipulation. They use emotions. They tug at your heartstrings. Okay, they said you are a failure. You know why you're a failure? Because you do not believe in the teachings of God. You do not subscribe to what we do. You do not follow what we've done so far. And because of that, you are an outcast. So they use all these emotional action methods to tug at your heartstrings. And there must be something that you're fearful of. There must be something you're proud of. There must be something that you're ashamed of. Okay, by identifying that, they could actually create different techniques and methods, okay, to convince you that you have to be part of them. Honestly, there's very little difference between armies, okay, churches, prisons, and cults. They all use the same method, okay. All three methods are being used by all these organizations. So you will ask me, what's the difference? Since they're all the same. So are you telling me that armies, church, okay, prisons, they are all cults? No. The biggest difference are in three factors. Okay, intensity, duration, effectiveness. Intensity, okay, military armies will not try to manipulate you all the while. Okay, they will give you a break. They will leave you alone. They will not expect you to be 100% conforming all the time. Look at which army. Even Singapore Army does give you weekends off, okay, for you to book out, spend time with your family, your loved ones. So they don't actually come at you 24/7. Cults do. Cults will ask you, please give me all your time, give me all your attention, hopefully 24/7, okay, for the rest of your life. So intensity is there. Duration. Cults want you to be part of them forever, if possible. Armies don't ask you that, okay. Churches says you are free to leave if you no longer subscribe to the teachings. Cults don't. Cults say you must always be part of me. If you don't be part of me, you're just an outcast or failure in life. Okay. Effectiveness. I think effectiveness, you all agree, okay, cults will be, among all these organizations, they are the most successful. Okay. They make you a completely different person. Okay. Armies, they can change part of your life, but they will not change you as a person forever. Same for religious organizations. They'll change your beliefs towards certain religions, but they will not change the way that you perceive society or life. They will not. Okay. So obviously prisons, they don't keep you forever. Okay. If they can correct you, they can transform you, you'll be more than happy to let you out into society. So I think cults are different. Once you join cults, they want you to be there forever. They want you to be with them. They want you to be there 24/7. So these three factors differentiates very closely cults away from the rest of the other organizations. They are group-based. Okay, so who joins a cult? Okay, let's look at cults. Okay, people who are in cults, very, very big diverse pool, very, very big diversity, usually in terms of demographics. Let's look at some demographics. Okay, age. Teenagers, elderly, even grandfathers, grandmothers, yes, they are part of the cult. Okay, they don't differentiate. Age is not an issue. Career, I don't care whether you're middle class, you are just a factory worker, or you're a laborer, or you're a businessman. As long as you're a human being, you're more than welcome to join us as a cult. Education, I don't care whether you can read, you can write, whether you're very educated or you can't even actually read and write. It doesn't matter. I will welcome you regardless of your education. Join me, okay, as long as you are going to be with me. Ideology, you can have actually a religion, you may not have a religion, you can be religious, you can be politically inclined, it does not matter. Okay, any ideologies you have at the beginning, you can always join me because I'm going to change that anyway. Okay, so ideologies does not differentiate between people who join the cult. Talents, actors, actresses, celebrities, politicians are all part of the cult. Okay, some of these actors and actresses you probably will hear of in the media. Some of you will be able to tell me Tom Cruise is part of the cult. Okay, Brad Pitt is also part of the cult. Okay, but Tom Cruise and Brad Pitt only just part of the cult? No, there are many others. These are just one of the more high-profile individuals, okay, who have lent their life, okay, to the success of a cult. So you realize that actually all 5 demographics do not really differentiate who is part of the cult, because what pulls them together is their psychology, their motives. Okay, they subscribe to the same belief and usually the same charismatic leader. Okay, so age does not differentiate, career doesn't, education definitely not. So you'll be asking me, why do people stay there? Why do people join? What's in for them? And after joining, why can't they leave? Okay, why must they be so insistent and sell their life away to a cult? Because like all successful HR leaders, their benefits. Okay, you'll never join a group if I don't give you benefits. So what benefits can I offer you when you're part of a cult? Cult recruiters will tell you, first, I give you fellowship. Okay, you're doing good for society. You're doing something great for God. Okay, whichever God you subscribe to. Okay, there's a group identity. You're part of a group. There's a strong sense of belonging. You're no longer an individual out there in the wide ocean. You're part of a growing group of networks. People will see you as part of us. Okay, so the we identity is extremely strong here. Okay, but take note, there is no individualization in a cult. That means you cannot say that, oh, you know, I'm just myself. I have my own thoughts, I have my own belief. No, cults will tell you, we are all doing this because of us. It's not because of you. We are doing this because of us. Okay, so group identity, extremely strong. Respect. You could be a failure in life. You may not be able to read and write. You may not be actually very successful in your marriage life, whatsoever, it doesn't matter. I give you the same amount of respect as long as you're part of a cult. Okay, strong benefit number 3. Number 4, security. If anyone dares to create problems for you, I may come to rescue. I will give you a shelter. I will give you actually my lending years. Okay, I'll lend my years. I'll listen to your problems. I give you security. I keep you safe. Okay, and this is actually one of the strongest sell for don't say cult. They tell you, okay, join me. Let's kill ourselves together so they can relive the world. Okay, and when we leave planet Earth, okay, we will not be destroyed by World War II. Okay, or World War III, whichever comes. Okay, so security very, very, very actually strong sell. Okay, 4, worldview. They tell you, I know what's right, what's wrong. They tell you, I know what's good, what's bad. Earth is a very evil place. Some doomsday cult will tell you, Earth is a very evil place. There are bad people around. I am the good one. Let me help you. And because you're good, I'm here to help you as actually another one who recognizes your strengths. Okay, so because of the complexity of the world, okay, a lot of cults will say that they know what is doable and what's not, what is right, what's wrong. Okay, so they change your view of how the world functions. Okay, and then followed by a very structured lifestyle. They set rules for you. They tell you this is what you do to become successful. This is what you should be doing if you want to sing praises of God. This is what you should be doing, okay, in order to become more actually learned in the process. So they give you ability to acquire new skills as well. Okay, they explain to you how the complexity of the world works. Okay, Earth is a very, very complex planet. Okay, full of evils, full of villains, full of actually people who are out there to harm you. So they give you a very simplified explanation. Okay, that they are here to show you the way, whichever way, even though it's wrong, but they are here to show you the way. Finally, they tell you there's strong conspiracy. Someone is out there plotting something to harm you. And whoever is a someone, I'm here to protect you. I'm here to show you, okay, that they are definitely actually going to suffer as a result. So there's very, very strong belief, okay, that someone is out there to harm the group. And finally, they give you big answers to difficult questions. So earlier, if you hear Vivian says that she has been wrestling with this back pain for months. A lot of actually physicians or GPs could not actually solve it. Okay, and this card says, let me help you. Let me help you find the secret of happiness. Let me tell you what happened after death, reincarnation. Let me tell you who's the right and who's the wrong, who's the safe and who's the damned. Let me tell you what happens when planet Earth is destroyed. They may not have the answers, but they tell you, I know what's the answer. Okay, and they solve very difficult problems for you. So these are the 9 strongest benefits that members are so on. It can be a combination of all 9, or it could be some of these 9 factors, but usually they are not too far away. Okay, and members buy them. So why are cults dangerous? Okay, cults are dangerous because of 5 reasons. First, okay, they'll tell you, cut your ties with anyone that you love. Cut your ties with all organizations except me. Don't join the churches, don't join the schools, don't go to school. Okay, don't go to your loved ones. Don't even tell your loved ones about us. We are a secret. Okay, don't actually go to your usual friends. Come to your cult friends. Okay, we will sever ties with mankind if possible. This is the first thing. You will cut all your social ties. The motive here, okay, is to increase your dependence, okay, of a cult member towards the cult. Okay, and because earlier, what did I say? Remove all critical thinking, right? Okay, by cutting ties, the cults are forcing people to stop critical thinking. Don't even ask people for opinion. Okay, especially when people realize that you're in the cult, they'll try to convince you to get out of the cult. Cults do not want to see that happen. So they tell you, cut any ties with anyone that you love. Okay, so it has an ulterior motive. Second, okay, members are required to show immediate and unquestionable obedience. They tell you to go and die, and you really have to go and die. Okay, you must be ready to die for the cult. You cannot question why. You just follow. Okay, and sometimes it's pointless. For example, we may have a very strong value beliefs that, okay, we shouldn't have casual sex with children. Okay, because society doesn't permit that. But some cults says it's perfectly fine. Go ahead. They are supposed to have kids by the age of 12. So it can be pointless, can be also baseless. But as a cult member, you are expected to just follow and not question. Okay, why do they do that? Because first, they want to test your devotion, okay, to the leader or to the doctrine. Second, they want you to follow them to the darkest part of earth, whichever that means. Okay, they want you to die, you have to die. They want you to actually stay, you will stay. So they want to test your resilience, okay, towards external influences. Third, they are sleep deprived. Okay, many cult members itself don't have time to do anything else. They have to do long, tedious work, whether it's cooking, bagging, okay, working, chanting, meditating. Okay, ulterior motive here. They do not want you to have time to question what is the cult doing and what's the ulterior motive of the cult. You're so mentally drained, emotionally, physically, that you stop asking the right questions. You just want to rest. You just want to go to bed. Okay. Or the next morning, you're back to square one. You do the same thing again and again. Okay. So cults do not like you to have critical thoughts, okay, of your own. So to do that, they ask you to do all the laborious work. Okay. Fifth reason. Okay. Why cults are dangerous? Cults, okay, will ask recruits to do illegal things. Whether is it robbing, whether is it harming others, or whether is it falsifying insurance claims, okay, recruits get involved in all these illegal activities. The motive, simple, money, a source of revenue to keep the cult going. All cults need money, like organizations. All organizations need money. Cults need money as well. Otherwise, they can't keep their operations running. Okay, the cult leader needs to sustain themselves. So do actually the operations of the cult. So by getting into illegal activities, okay, they can find sources of money. Okay, finally, cults will make the exit cost so high that you'll be questioning, is it even worthwhile to leave a cult? Okay, and to make your exit cost high, they'll label you. Oh, if you leave us, you're just a complete failure, you're a loser. You know, you cannot subscribe to even something so simple, so idealistic. Okay, or they'll isolate you. They make you feel that you're outcast. No more friends, no more loved ones. Okay, because that already happened before you join the cult. Now, even your cult leaders are leaving you. That means you're one and only, one lonely individual in the evil world. Okay, that cults always subscribe to. So they try to isolate you. Okay, finally, more powerful cults, especially the richer cults, they'll say, I'm going to prosecute you. Okay, because you are spreading actually false beliefs about the existence of my organization. I'm going to sue you in court. Okay, and finally, of course, they would also actually tell you, okay, that you are not supposed to leave because you have just been branded. Remember, NXIVM actually has a tattoo, a so-called tattoo, okay, you're branded, okay, on the body. It's very difficult for you to erase that brand, okay, or that so-called tattoo. So sometimes these exit costs are so high that cult members already stop asking, is it even worthwhile to leave, even though they know that cults are wrong, okay, or cults are dangerous, okay, and because of these reasons, okay, many of these followers will still continue, okay, staying in the cult. Okay, all right. So these are 5 leading reasons. So finally, if I'm a cult recruiter, okay, what do I look for? Who do I know, okay, to recruit as a possible member or potential member? 4 groups of people, okay, that cults love. First group, people who feel meaningless, powerless, and helpless. Okay, usually the elderly folks, or people who already has no meaning why they must stay on, okay, carry on their lives. So these are people who probably feel that, oh, you know, there's no more meaning, okay, that Earth has for them. Very, very, very popular group, especially among the elderly. Second group, people who are isolated from the commercial world, politically or technologically. Okay, they actually probably went through some sort of isolation. They do not know how to use computers. They do not know how to talk to people, communicate with people, or they probably lost something that's on video. For example, they lost an entire business empire. Okay, they feel isolated now. Nobody wants to offer them any help. So these are the second group of people who are good recruits, okay, good sources for cults. And then finally, people who are always unhappy, disaffected, very, very angry, resentful, always feel that someone out there is out to harm them. They like to be in the comfort of like-minded individuals for companionship. People who are lonely, lost, okay, could be a potential recruit for cults. And finally, people who are in a transition phase of their life. These are people who are going through divorce, handicap, health issues. Like for example, earlier you heard Vivian mentioning health issues. Okay, unemployment, they couldn't find job for a long period of time. Nobody wants to hire them. Or they just drop a religion. They used to be Buddhist, okay? Or all of a sudden they become a free thinker, right? Just for a very short period of time. Free thinkers are actually one of those who will be a good source, okay, for cults. Because although they don't subscribe to a religion, but it's not hard to introduce a so-called religion to their lives because they don't have a religion to start with. Okay, so less brainwashing. So these 4 groups of people are what cults love, and they always will be on the lookout for. Okay, the biggest group is the last group, people who are in the transition phase of their life. Very, very huge group, because there's always weaknesses. Okay, there's always actually turmoils or turbulence that we go through as humans. Okay, as we live every day in this life. All right. Okay, and then these 4 groups, okay, would somehow rather come across a leader, a recruiter, a mastermind, and this is actually the cult leader. So the cult leader will offer 4 things that they want and they need. 1, simple, clear answers to a very complex world, an evil world. Okay. Oh, let me tell you, World War III is coming. I know how to get you out of this and you will not be harmed. Just follow what I'm saying. Okay, very simple, clear answers. 2, simple rules. Surrender, okay, your life to me. I will show you the way. I will show you the right way. Don't talk to your family. Don't talk to your loved ones. Okay, don't go to school. Don't work. I will keep you going. Okay, as long as you're part of a cult. Simple lifestyle. Okay, every day you only just devote your life to the cult and to the leader. Okay, nothing else. Nothing else matters. Okay, keep strong mentally. Subscribe to the same doctrine. Finally, social support. You are not alone. There's many actually cult members like you. Okay, you'll find the social support, the emotional support that you've been lacking all this while. Okay, people will still show care and concern because you're part of us. Okay, so 4 simple solutions for 4 simple groups of people, okay, who are going through different turbulence in life. Okay, I'm showing this image because I found this image last evening. Okay, very interesting image. Let me give you a story. Okay, this is actually a cult leader. Okay, and this cult leader actually is in Siberia. Okay, Siberia, one of actually the European countries along Russia. okay, the region around there. Okay, so he is actually a former traffic policeman. Okay, so he actually obviously left his government job as a traffic police. He started a cult. Okay, and the cult is founded in the mountains of Siberia. Okay, and every Sunday he will dress in this red robe. Okay, and thousands of people across Europe will travel to Siberia, scaling the mountains to worship him. Okay, and that is the extent of a charismatic leader. Okay, especially a cult leader. People are willing to go through, okay, mountain and sea just to meet him. Okay, unfortunately, okay, he was found guilty. Okay, the Siberian authorities caught up with him, found him guilty of money laundering. Okay, because he took a lot of funds, okay, from his cult members who have deceased. So he falsified insurance claims. Okay, he was arrested and now he's actually in Russian prison. But what I want to stress here is that people who join cults are not your strange, disturbed, sheep-like idiots. They are not stupid. They are not simple-minded. Neither are they strange. They are just your average you and me. So if I can potentially be a cult recruit or a cult member, so can you. Okay, because you go through different knocks in life, right? All you need is a cult member or a cult leader who's very persuasive, a good communicator, simply offering you something that you don't have and you're dying for. Okay, and to conclude, nobody knows, okay, what a cult leader is like. Okay, especially when you're part of a cult. You will never see yourself as part of a cult until you leave a cult. Okay, and it's just very disturbing because you may come across people, okay, who says, oh, you know, I'm not in the cult, but you know they are in the cult. But it's almost impossible to convince them to leave the cult because they don't see that as a cult in the first place. Until one fine day, you knock sense into them, okay, or you force them to leave it. Then that's when they realize they're part of the cult. So fortunately, Vivian saw this coming, okay, and that's why tonight I am quite happy to have her to share with you a bit more. So once again, don't actually think that you're not a potential recruit for a cult because you could be part of a cult and you have not realized, okay, that you're part of it. Okay, but in conclusion, you realize that tonight I presented a lot of these principles that cults have, okay, brainwashing techniques, how they actually indoctrinate you, how they actually influence your life, what do they look for, so on and so forth. So I think in conclusion, what I want to actually leave you with is cults are going to be with us, okay, in the present. They're going to be with us in the future. They will not actually go extinct because if humankind has complexities to wrestle, hurdles to cross, cults are here to stay.